Out on the sea, searching for something that really found me. I didn't know it, but it drew me to it. Soon I was full of its passion in me. I'm Italo Labignan. 40 years I've fished the world and have learned it's not just about catching the fish, the size of the fish, or the numbers. It's about appreciating every sunrise and sunset, the smell of the sea, savoring the culture and the fish with friends. Here's the catch. It's the total experience. Presented by Bear Reels, versatile, precision, handcrafted hybrid center pins. Seabreeze boats, tame the oceans. Raymarine Electronics. Raymarine, simply superior. Yeah, see where he's diving? I love to fish trout, both in fresh and salt water. This day, I'm with my good buddy, Glen Meadus, who flew down from Newfoundland, Canada, to enjoy a sunny break and spend a few days on the water with me. Glen is a master boat builder and specializes in building saltwater boats for the Atlantic. In fact, the Pro Sport 2000 boat is his creation, and it's an awesome boat to fish offshore and in water as shallow as 10 inches. Glen is going to experience how well it handles on the flats, even in strong, windy conditions. Glen, first trout on.
Fish on?
Yep.
I'm getting a few bites myself.
You know what? We stopped here. The bottom looks good. You know, too bad we got these tough conditions to deal with the wind and everything. See, the water's a little bit darker here, and you can see the models that are down there.
Yep.
So that's what we're looking for those larger trout, the keepers.
Yeah, that's a nice size. You might.
I don't think it's 15.
Oh, fish on.
Okay, good. We're on them. You know what, Glen? She's 15 inches.
Right on.
That's hard to believe. Let me check. Oh, maybe a hair under. This one's going to be released. I love those colors, eh? Look at. Our goal today is to find and catch spotted sea trout over 15 inches. These fish travel in schools and move on and off the shallow grass flats in search of anything that will fit in their tooth-filled mouth. We head out early and travel about 15 miles to a protected shallow bay, where we know the trout like to feed on a moving tide. When you're onto sea trout, it doesn't take long to hook up. Any size to it?
It's hard to say. He's got a nice little fight to him.
Okay, try to get him out away from the boat. Let me see. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh my.
Come on.
Taking off. He's taking off.
Let's see.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he's a keeper.
He's a keeper.
Okay. See if you can steer him this way. Nice and easy. Nice trout. Oh, you think I can get him in the net? There. Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
Wow.
That's an eater.
It's a dandy.
Isn't that gorgeous? Now, you know, they call these spotted sea trout, but it's really part of the weak fish family.
Okay.
Okay, here, you hold it. You caught it. You hold it, okay? You just watch it if it's going to thrash. They're not easy to find, though, eh? You got to go like miles to find the right flat. I like that. Just brute force. You pull it right back. Nice fish. Gorgeous fish.
Beauty.
Glen, this all looks like good water. This one, I think, might be marginal. I don't know. He doesn't look 15, does he? No. I'm not going to measure him. It's his lucky day. Glen, they just seem to be sporadic. You know, I like my guests to get fish, Glen, like the bigger ones. I'm watching how the pros do it, Glen.
Gone.
Oh, there's one. You can see the boils they make when they splash. Look at, because the water's so calm. I've got this guy on the surface. You know, spotted trout are known for their, amazing fighting abilities. I'm trying to just reel them in gently. And man, it'd be nice if this one was a little bit bigger. Oh, he's not hooked very well. You can see how nice and wide their shoulders are. And look at those beautiful spots. You know what? He was only hooked by the back hook. Glen, 15.
All right, she makes the cut.
You know what we call a 15-inch spotted trout?
Keeper.
Dinner. Let me use my towel again. Now, he was just off that point, eh? You saw that. I'm going to back up. again, because I think that they're feeding on trout. You can tell right off the bat, right, Glenn, when you get a trout on instead of those ladyfish?
You can, yeah. Different
the
feel to
ladyfish
it.
fly out of the water. The trout kind of just bulldog, flip-flop back and left. It's hard when you got a lot of these little guys. I think the bigger ones are more loners.
Yeah.
You know, like when you hooked your 2 big ones?
Yeah.
Like
right.
you don't get really a lot of little guys, and then you get a big one on. Our challenge is to get through the smaller fish and land some keepers so we can enjoy a fresh fish dinner of grilled sea trout. We cover the water using our electric motor, casting in all directions. As soon as one of us hooks up, we anchor the power poles and work the water over to see if there are other fish nearby. Spotted sea trout have a very delicate mouth. They hit aggressively and usually bulldog fight just below the surface. If your drag is too tight, the fish can easily throw the hook. Glenn is finding this out firsthand. Glenn, did you just have a hit?
I just had a hit.
So I've got one on.
And you got one. Nice.
I don't know if it's going to be a keeper. Hard to tell. I'm going to try flipping it right in the boat. Let's see. Oh, you know what?
That's a keeper.
I think it is. Maybe if you don't mind handing me the net, because sometimes they tear off. I'll lift it up. If you fall off, you fall off. There. I'll be like those guys on TV. You ever watch those bass shows? Those tournament guys?
That's right, yeah.
Good thing I got the pliers here. Well, we have our dinner fish, minimum. Glenn?
We do so.
Okay, so we just need some veggies and potatoes. But before we do that, let's just, you know, do the right thing here. Oh yes, 17 inches.
All right.
So that's
nice.
good.
Only a small one.
Okay, flip them up, unhook and get back to work. I think we got twins. Look,
Well,
mine is small too.
At least there's fish on the go again.
Yeah. You know, what happens is you get into these lulls where the fish, you know, either aren't there or they're not hitting. Then you kind of get lackadaisical. And then you get a big fish on and you kind of lose it because you're not ready for it.
See if I can catch one of them up there. Oh, close. Pliers right there.
Well, yeah, I need the pliers. My net man, where's my net man? Come on up here, Glenn. Come on up here. Over here, Glenn. You're gonna come up on the stage. Nice and easy. That's a keeper.
All right.
I can tell. Is it a keeper?
Looks like a keeper.
I got all excited. I don't know. It looks like a keeper.
It's gonna be close. It's gonna be
Look
close.
at those spots here. Let's put the net down just so they can see it. Look at how bright the spots on this one are.
Wow.
Aren't they beautiful?
Yeah, they are.
Wow, that is a gorgeous fish. You know, this mat is so nice. You've been on here with your knees, right?
Yeah, it's a lot nice.
You make a nice fiberglass boat, but these mats just complement it nicely.
A little bit softer than the fiberglass.
Yeah. Now, I went to the rubber net because you know what? With those treble hooks, it's a lot easier to get the hooks out of the net, right? Because it won't go into it. I'm trying to figure out, I guess I should take this one out first. Just got to get the second one out. Okay, right there. And I always measure them just in case, Glenn. I know you like watching, but you know what? You should be casting, Glenn. Because
I think I'll get back at us.
if we're on them, you know what I mean?
That's right. Absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna measure,
measure
but I
up.
think he's gonna be 15. Look at him going on this vigorous mat. Okay, let me go like that. Climb down from the, and let's see here. And, come on, close your mouth. If you're not 15, you're going back. You're supposed to close the fish's mouth and pinch their tail together. And man, this guy is just under 15, even a hair. I want to release him. So we didn't handle him too much. Do the nice thing here over the side. Look at that beautiful shine. Come on, he didn't have you out that long. Look, it gone into that brown water. You know, it's so peaceful in here. You know, I get to fish Florida quite a bit. I love fishing down here. I mean, look at it. It's so green and stuff. I've got Glenn, who's from Newfoundland, the Rock. And I've been cod fishing with him up there. And we've jigged out in the open. No mangroves up there, Glenn.
No, you don't see any of this type
So
of
I think this
foliage.
is so exotic, eh?
It is
Feels
very.
like we're in a jungle or something. Feels like we're in Florida. So the net's over here, okay, in case we need it.
Okay,
You just yell for it. I don't mind getting it for you. I got to pull out a little bit from the mangroves. Nice scrappers. It's almost ready to come up. Come here. No net this time. I'm going to try measuring them before I take the hook out. They all seem to be just shy of that 15. I think this guy's going to be 2. Let's see here. This cooler's getting a workout. Same thing, just under. And nice look. And he's gone. Okay, let's see if there's some more there. You know, even if you're getting into these smaller trout, it's fun. Try not to hook your shoes when you're fishing, so you can cut into your fishing time. You know, it's nice we've got some calm conditions in this really small bay, and it happens that our friends are here, Mike Scarlett. I think this one's just going to be undersized. How you doing back there, Glenn?
Good, good.
I'm glad that the wind's calmer.
Beautiful day.
Hard to guess the length. I'm going to measure, but I think this guy's just short again. So handy to have the tape measure right here. Let's see, maybe it's, boy, just under. We're going to release it. The one nice thing about these sea trout, you can see how thick they are. So even a 15-incher, you get really nice fillets. There's a lot of meat on them. You know, even on a fish this size, there's a lot of meat on them. So they're very good eating. Look, isn't that pretty? Just going to lower them gently over the side, and then we're going to let them go. Look under the slow light. Beautiful. And there he goes. Glenn, it's so nice to be out of the wind, man.
Oh, man.
And this is my towel right here. Glenn, I don't know where your towel is. Mine is right there. As long as I don't see it, it's okay.
Oh, fish on.
Any size?
Fish on. I don't think.
Okay, get that rod up in the air.
Oh,
Get the bin.
You can.
Is it still on?
Yeah.
Sometimes when you fish the flats and cast through the mangroves looking for trout, you also encounter smaller snook and redfish. Both these species feed in similar areas as the sea trout. The snook shape reminds me a lot of a freshwater walleye. They are a brilliant silver color with a very dominant lateral line. They won't think twice of hitting an artificial lure and usually fight near the surface and often jump several times out of the water.
Oh,
Get him, get him. You got him?
Yeah.
What a that was awesome. It's a snook, yeah.
The snook?
Yeah, don't reel anymore. That's plenty of line. Just lift the rod up to bring them close. Yeah, that's a snook. So they're out of season. Man, we're getting a variety this morning.
Uh-oh.
Remember what I said about getting them in the net?
Oh, that's nice.
There.
Wow.
Look, they kind of remind me of a walleye. You know, we have in freshwater.
That's right, yeah.
He's a little guy, but they're a lot of fun.
They're a lot of really nice fighting fish.
Every fish matters, big or small, right?
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter how big they are. Now, the only thing is, it's not a trout, eh? Look at beautiful release. Redfish remind me of gold jewelry. They love hitting artificial lures, are full-bodied, and fight hard below the surface. I love their fake eyes on their tail to fool predator fish that are trying to grab them. We fish the small bay thoroughly and then head off for another few miles to a very large bay, and we fish the mouth of a few small creeks. Our strategy as the tide slows down is to move a little deeper away from the mangroves to intercept the trout as they move to deeper water. Oh, you know what? It's a nice redfish. Get them in the net. That's 2 know-whats. Perfect. Now, normally, you know, these are good eating size fish. They got to be a certain length, but the season's closed on them. And a lot of times they'll feed where the trout are. Now, if you look, he doesn't have any teeth. He's got more crushers in there because they love to eat crabs and shrimp and stuff. They can get really big. I'm talking like 50, 60 pounds. Wow. Oh, yeah. Here, the biggest one I've got has been about 3 feet long. Nice red. Okay. You know what, Glenn? He was all right to go. Got a mouthful of water.
Oh, fish.
I'm going to try to just lift him. If he gets off, it's okay. See how strong this rod is? Such a pretty fish, great game fish. Closed captioning brought to you by Leguano, natural barefoot technology for every adventure. I have to measure it anyway. Always better to check. Come on up. No, I think it's just under. We met some friends out in the boat, the last bay that we were fishing in, and one of his is Walt. And he was very nice. He actually gave me this lure. Look, it's a little bit different color. The one that I was using is like a trout color. This one is like a chartreuse back with silver side, a little bit of red just underneath the head. He said he gets so many fish, and he handed me a new pack. You know, it's really nice when anglers do that. They share not just their knowledge, but also in some cases their lure, you know. Glenn, did you see that? It hit right in front of you.
Right in front of me, yeah.
All right, we have plenty of fish for dinner, and it's time to make the long run back. Spotted sea trout have a delicate white flesh and very soft scales. Today's recipe is to scale the trout, remove the gills, and leave them whole to cook on the barbecue on a grill mat. First thing I do is clean them on a vigorous fish cleaning mat, which makes the job a lot easier. Each trout is scaled quickly with the manual scaler. Next, the fish entrails and gills are removed, and the whole fish is rinsed well to ensure that all the scales are off. Time to preheat the barbecue between 250 to 350 degrees. I'm going to be using a grill mat that has been coated with a thin layer of butter to keep the fish bodies intact and to let the fish cook in the seasonings and their own juices. I coat each side of the fish with a mixture of seasonings and my favorite Cajun seasoning. The fish are gently laid on the mat and allowed to cook for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, I check the fish and gently turn them over and allow them to cook for another 15 minutes. The trout are placed on platters, and it's time for Glenn to taste his first freshly caught spotted sea trout. I want you to know this is appetizer, okay? So we're gonna have more food. But look at, you think that like a 15, 16-inch trout, in your case 18 and a half, right?
Right.
Wouldn't be that much. That's like a meal for one person.
It is a meal.
I take the gills out, I got them. Rinse them really well, make sure there's no scales on the fish, right? Very easy to scale, the scales just fly off. And then I season them. This is gonna be a little hot because I put some Cajun seasoning as well as like roasted garlic, roasted green peppers, and salt and pepper and all that stuff, right? And then of course butter. Everything tastes better with butter, right?
Correct.
Grilled at about 300, 350 on a mat because the butter melts and it kind of sits in the butter a little bit. So you don't see it, it's not greasy now,
Nope.
but it's gonna have that nice flavor. It also helps to keep all the stuff that we put on top onto the fish, you know, as opposed to just being dry. And then flip it over 15 minutes after, 10 more minutes, you got it done. Now, Glenn, we've known each other for quite a long time. I'm guessing 15 years,
Yep.
maybe more, right? We've done a lot of shows together.
That's right.
Great Lakes, Newfoundland. I don't think I've ever asked you, and you've never told me, how did you get into boat building? Like, is it something that, you know, did like your dad have the business, or how did you end up doing it?
No, I actually started out selling the raw material for fiberglass that builds boats.
Okay.
And with dealing with all the boat builders in Atlantic Canada, I just really enjoyed what I did, and I really got inspired by the boat building side of it. And I was really active in helping boat builders with different materials, teaching them where I was a raw material supplier,
right.
There was a lot of specialty things that used to come out, and we used to, I'd promote it with different boat builders and help them to be more efficient on the boat building side.
What makes Seabreeze and Pro Sports boats so different? I know from a handability standpoint, I've used all kinds of boats. I've been in all kinds of other people's boats.
Yeah.
The boats, for their length, whether it was the 19-footer, the 20-footer, handles amazing. This one will go in 10 inches of water. We found that out when we went onto that little sand thing.
Little sandbar.
Because it was sticking out of the water.
Very easy to get up.
Yeah, and I had to go in the water. Yeah, anyway. But the way you build them, they don't seem like they're really heavy, yet they handle well. So what's your secret? Like, what makes them special?
Well, the hulls are still built tough, and they're built heavy, the hulls itself. We do for our Seabreeze and for our Pro Sports, the people we're dealing with mostly like like a rough interior boat, just for like what we're doing, the fishing.
Well,
you're throwing stuff around. It's a work style boat,
Yep.
and that's exactly what our customers are looking for. They don't want the fancy interiors where it's going to get scratched and beat up. Where these
No
boats,
wallpaper, flowers, that kind of
right,
stuff.
not the fancy bells and whistles that normally don't get used.
Yep.
So this is a boat that you can throw the dogs in, throw the anchor on the floor. It doesn't hurt it. So, and this is the type of environment in Newfoundland that fishermen and hunters are using their boats 12 months a year, and they don't want to be too particular with how the interior looks. They want to be able to clean it out easily and hose it out and ready to go, and it's ready to go for the next trip.
I think they're great boats, like this model especially. Most people that join me think it's a bigger boat. They think it's like a 22, 23 footer. I think it's because it's so wide. It's 102 inches, if I'm not mistaken, wide.
Yep.
I don't know how deep it is, but I have a hard time. I can't land a fish, you know, from the center point forward. And I like that because, especially when you're running, not when you're, you know, stationary,
That's right.
the water can't get up over it. You know, you have a boat that's a little thinner to the water can splash up, especially when you get cresting and stuff.
Absolutely. It's like 38-inch freeboard on that boat. So in the rougher water you are, the safer you feel because you've got all that freeboard next to you. You're not out on a boat that's, you know, less than your knees when it comes to your freeboard. So it's just a security thing. It makes you feel safer.
And the other thing that I like, I'm a big guy on economy, you know, reliability. So I'm running the 4-stroke 115 Yamaha.
Yep.
I run it at about 5,000, 5,500 RPMs. That gets me up to about 33, 35 miles an hour. It's very good on fuel. So how come it's so good on fuel? Is it the hull? Is it the weight? What is it?
It's more likely the weight. I mean, where we don't have when you put a liner in a boat, you're adding another probably 1,200 pounds to this boat. So with keeping that liner out, you decrease the weight, which means that boat can just move that much easier.
Now, how
in the
come if
water.
it's lighter, it doesn't bounce? It goes right on top of those waves. It doesn't come out of the water.
Yeah, no, well, that's hull design. I mean, she's got reverse chines on that boat that really hugs the water. And with the reverse chine system, when the water comes up, it pushes the water back down as opposed to water flowing up around the side of the boat and coming in the boat. So it's a very dry running boat.
Good. You know what? I'm going to stick to eating the fish now. One day I wandered out on the sea, searching for something that really found me. I didn't know it, but it drew me to it. Soon I was full of its passion in me. I'm Italo Labignan. 40 years I've fished the world and have learned it's not just about catching the fish, the size of the fish, or the numbers. It's about appreciating every sunrise and sunset, the smell of the sea, savoring the culture and the fish with friends. Here's the catch. It's the total experience. Presented by Bear Reels, versatile, precision, handcrafted hybrid center pins. Seabreeze Boats, tame the oceans. Raymarine Electronics. Raymarine, simply superior.